Quit pleasing them. A Stoic story about freedom, self-respect, and becoming unbreakable. 3,000-word YouTube script. Introduction. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice. A choice between living for themselves or living for everyone else. Most people never realize they're trapped. They spend years chasing approval, trying to fit in, trying to avoid criticism, trying to make everyone happy. But no matter how hard they try, someone is always disappointed. Someone is always judging. Someone is always asking for more. And little by little, they lose themselves. This is the story of a young man who spent his entire life pleasing others. Until one painful lesson changed everything. Step 1. The boy who needed approval. A young man named Daniel grew up wanting everyone to like him. At school, he agreed with everyone. At home, he never said no. Among friends, he always sacrificed his own needs. If people were happy with him, he felt valuable. If people were disappointed, he felt worthless. His self-worth depended entirely on other people's opinions. At first, this seemed harmless. People called him nice, helpful, kind. But deep inside, Daniel was exhausted. Because he wasn't living his life. He was managing everyone else's expectations. Step 2. The invisible chains. As Daniel grew older, the problem became worse. He accepted invitations he didn't want. He worked extra hours he didn't need to. He lent money he couldn't afford to lose. He stayed silent when he should have spoken. Every decision was controlled by one question. What will they think of me? The question became his prison. Every day he wore invisible chains. Chains made from approval. Chains made from fear. Chains made from people-pleasing. Yet he didn't even know they existed. Step 3. The breaking point. One day Daniel faced a crisis. A friend he had helped for years suddenly betrayed him. Someone he trusted spoke badly about him behind his back. The news devastated him. After everything he had done, after all the sacrifices, after all the loyalty, this was the reward. That night he sat alone. Angry, confused, heartbroken. For the first time, he asked himself, why am I trying so hard to please people who wouldn't do the same for me? The question changed everything. Step 4. Meeting the Stoic. The next morning Daniel went for a long walk. His mind was filled with frustration. Eventually he reached a quiet park. An elderly man sat alone feeding birds. The man seemed peaceful, calm, completely unaffected by the chaos around him. Daniel sat nearby. The old man noticed his expression. You look troubled. Daniel sighed. People disappoint me. The old man smiled. No. Your expectations disappoint you. Daniel looked confused. The old man continued. You are suffering because you've made other people's approval your master. Step 5. The first lesson. The old man pointed toward the sky. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control what people think? No. Then why are you spending your life trying? Daniel sat silently. The old man leaned closer. The moment you depend on approval, you give away your freedom. Those words struck deeply. Because they were true. Daniel had spent years giving away his freedom. Not to kings. Not to governments. But to opinions. Step 6. The mirror. That evening Daniel stood before a mirror. For the first time he asked difficult questions. Who am I trying to impress? Why am I afraid to disappoint people? Why do I need validation? The answers were uncomfortable. He realized he wasn't being kind. He was being afraid. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of criticism. Afraid of being disliked. His people-pleasing wasn't strength. It was fear disguised as kindness. And now he could finally see it. Step 7. Learning to say no. The Stoic gave Daniel a challenge. For 1 week, practice saying no. Simple. But terrifying. The first opportunity came quickly. A coworker asked him to take on extra work. Normally Daniel would agree immediately. This time he paused. Then he said, "No, I can't." The coworker frowned. Daniel felt uncomfortable. But something surprising happened. The world didn't end. The sky didn't fall. Life continued. And for the first time, he felt stronger. Step 8. The discomfort of growth. Over the following weeks, Daniel practiced boundaries. People didn't always like it. Some became irritated. Some became angry. Some disappeared completely. At first, this hurt. Then he realized something important. The people who leave when you establish boundaries were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. That realization changed his perspective. Not everyone deserved unlimited access to his time, energy, and attention. Step 9. The storm of criticism. As Daniel changed, criticism arrived. Friends accused him of changing. Family members complained. Coworkers questioned his attitude. The old Daniel would have surrendered. But the Stoic reminded him, "You can be the sweetest peach on the tree and someone will still dislike peaches." Daniel laughed. For years he had been chasing the impossible. Universal approval. Something no human being has ever achieved. Step 10. The mountain lesson. One afternoon the Stoic took Daniel to a mountain. From the summit they looked down at the city. The old man asked, "What do you see?" "Thousands of people." "And do you think they are all thinking about you?" Daniel smiled. "No." The old man nodded. "Most people are too busy worrying about themselves." The realization was freeing. Daniel had spent years worrying about judgments that rarely existed. His fear had been exaggerated by his imagination. Step 11. Discovering self-respect. Months passed. Daniel continued practicing Stoic principles. Slowly something changed. He stopped seeking approval. He stopped explaining every decision. He stopped defending himself unnecessarily. And in place of approval, something new appeared. Self-respect. For the first time, he respected himself. Because he was finally honest. Authentic. Free. Step 12. The hardest goodbye. Then came his greatest challenge. A long-term friendship began falling apart. The friendship had always been one-sided. Daniel gave. The friend took. Daniel sacrificed. The friend demanded. The imbalance became impossible to ignore. Eventually Daniel walked away. It was painful. But necessary. Because growth sometimes requires letting go of people who only value your usefulness. Step 13. The freedom he never expected. Months later Daniel noticed something remarkable. His anxiety decreased. His confidence increased. His peace deepened. Nothing external had dramatically changed. But internally everything was different. He was no longer carrying the impossible burden of pleasing everyone. He was finally free. Step 14. Becoming unbreakable. 1 year later Daniel met the Stoic again. The old man smiled. "You seem different." Daniel nodded. "I am." "What changed?" Daniel looked toward the horizon. "I stopped asking for permission to be myself." The old man smiled. "Then you have learned the lesson." Daniel nodded. "Quit pleasing them." Final wisdom. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. You are not responsible for making everyone happy. You are responsible for living with virtue. You are responsible for your character. You are responsible for your actions. But you are not responsible for other people's opinions. No matter what you do, someone will criticize you. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone will dislike you. And that's okay. Because peace comes when you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. Powerful ending. So if you're exhausted, if you're constantly seeking approval, if you're tired of sacrificing yourself to keep others comfortable, remember this. You can be kind without being a people pleaser. You can be compassionate without being controlled. You can love others without abandoning yourself. The strongest version of you emerges the moment you stop living for applause. Stop chasing validation. Stop begging for acceptance. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into other people's expectations. Stand tall. Speak honestly. Protect your peace. Respect yourself. And remember, the day you quit pleasing them is the day you finally start becoming yourself. Stay calm. Stay strong. Stay disciplined. Stay unbreakable.